Level 1, the counter, age 19. You are 19 years old. You work behind the register of a convenience store in Queens 6 nights a week. The overnight shift starts at 4 p.m. and ends at 11:47 p.m. on weekdays. On weekends, it goes later. The fluorescent lights make every hour feel identical. You stock shelves, count cigarette inventory, clean coffee machines, watch customers buy lottery tickets with money they probably can't afford to lose. You make $12.50 an hour. Your mother works double shifts cleaning offices in Manhattan. Your father drives delivery routes across New Jersey. They arrived in the United States with less than $500 and 2 suitcases. You know the exact amount because your mother mentions it whenever the family talks about money. Not as a boast, as a reminder. One night, while counting the register, you notice something. The store sells bottled water for $2.49. The case sitting in the back room costs the owner less than $9 wholesale. The margin is enormous. You start paying attention. Which products move fastest? Which products sit untouched for weeks? Which customers come every day? Which ones only come when they get paid? You buy a cheap notebook, not to write ideas, to write observations, revenue, patterns, questions. Your co-workers think you're studying for school. You aren't. You're studying how money moves. Level 2, the side hustle, age 24. You are 24 years old. You've spent the last few years learning basic web design and digital marketing after work. You start a tiny service business from your apartment. Your first month brings in $600. The second month brings in $1,300. The third month brings in $2,700. You still work your day job. Nobody notices anything changing because nothing visible has changed. You still drive the same car, still live in the same apartment, still wear the same clothes. But every extra dollar goes back into the business. One evening, your friend Marcus asks why you're working so much. You tell him you're trying to build something. He says, "Like what?" You realize you don't have a good answer yet, so you keep working. The business slowly grows. One client becomes 3, 3 become 10, 10 become 20. By the end of the year, the side hustle earns more than your full-time job. You quit the store with exactly $14,200 in savings. You've never felt richer. You've also never felt more scared. Level 3, the collapse, age 26. You are 26 years old. Your business has one major problem. One client represents 61% of your revenue. On a Wednesday morning, they leave. No warning, no second chance, just an email. You read it 5 times. Revenue drops by more than half overnight. You spend the next 3 weeks refreshing your bank account every morning before getting out of bed. The business account falls below $2,000. You stop ordering takeout. You stop driving anywhere that isn't necessary. One night, your father asks how things are going. You lie. You say everything is fine. He nods. You know he doesn't believe you. What you don't know is that he has already decided he would pick up extra delivery routes if you needed help. He never tells you this. You learn about it years later from your mother. You spend the next 6 months rebuilding the business with one rule. No single client can ever threaten your survival again. It is the hardest year of your life. It is also the year you stop thinking like a freelancer and start thinking like an owner. Level 4, the first $100,000, age 28. You are 28 years old. On a Sunday morning, you open a spreadsheet. Savings, $34,000. Investments, $41,000. Retirement account, $18,000. Business cash, $12,000. Total net worth, $105,000. The first 6 figures. You expected fireworks. Instead, you feel relief. For the first time, one emergency won't destroy everything. You call your mother. You don't tell her the number. You simply tell her things are going well. She says she's proud of you. You save that voicemail. Years later, you still have it. The business now has 3 employees. You hire your first project manager, Lena. She immediately makes the company more organized than you ever could. At this stage, you learn another lesson. Growth doesn't come from doing everything yourself. It comes from trusting people who are better than you at specific things. Level 5, the ownership shift, age 31. You are 31 years old. The business is stable. Revenue is predictable. For the first time, you have enough cash flow to think beyond next month. You start investing seriously. Index funds, real estate partnerships, tax-advantaged accounts, boring things that compound quietly. Your mindset changes. You stop asking, how much can I earn? You start asking, what can I own? The difference seems small. It changes everything. Your investments begin generating income that has nothing to do with hours worked. You buy a modest house for your parents in cash. The house costs $610,000. Your father spends his first week there planting vegetables in the backyard, tomatoes, peppers, and herbs. He treats the garden like a full-time job. You realize something important. Money rarely buys happiness directly. It buys the conditions where happiness has room to grow. Level 6. The Paper Million, age 35. You are 35 years old. The business has grown steadily for more than a decade. A larger company approaches with an acquisition offer. The valuation is far beyond anything you imagined when you were counting cigarette inventory at 19. On paper, your ownership stake is suddenly worth more than $1 million. You are technically a millionaire, except you can't spend most of it. The value exists in shares, contracts, and projections. You celebrate by ordering pizza for the team. No champagne, no social media announcement, just pizza. That night, you tell your wife that the business might be worth 7 figures now. She asks one question. Does this mean you'll finally take a vacation? You laugh because you realize you haven't taken a real vacation in 9 years. Level 7, the real million, age 38. You are 38 years old. Your banking app sends a notification while you're standing in a grocery store. Net worth, $1,004,382. This time, the number is real. Liquid savings, investments, retirement accounts, business proceeds. You read it 3 times because for most of your life, seeing 4 digits in your account felt impossible. The cashier asks if you want a receipt. You say no. You carry 2 bags of groceries to your car and sit there for almost 4 minutes. Nobody around you knows what just happened. The teenager collecting carts doesn't know. The woman loading groceries into her SUV doesn't know. The man arguing on speakerphone 3 spaces away doesn't know. You just became the first millionaire in your family, and somehow it feels quieter than you expected. The real achievement. You drive home. You think about the convenience store counter, the notebook, the failed client, the months when the business account was almost empty, the years when nobody believed anything was happening. Inside the house, life continues exactly as it did yesterday. The dishes still need washing. The laundry still needs folding. Your phone still rings. The dog still needs to be walked. The $1 million changes almost nothing about the day, but it changes everything about the future because the goal was never the number. The goal was freedom. Freedom to choose. Freedom to help. Freedom to say no. Freedom to stop surviving. You walk inside. Your daughter is doing homework at the kitchen table. She looks up and asks, "Can you help me with fractions?" You sit down next to her. 30 minutes ago, a banking app confirmed you have over $1 million. Right now, you're explaining how to find a common denominator. The math is simpler than the math you used to build the business, but the moment matters more because the real achievement isn't becoming the first millionaire in your family. The real achievement is making sure nobody after you has to start where you did. Somewhere tonight, a 19-year-old is working a late shift. His feet hurt. His bank account is nearly empty. He thinks success belongs to other people. He is wrong. He just doesn't know it yet. The shift ends. The notebook opens. The counting begins. The machine has already started.